Hey guys, it's Mush. Today we're going to be taking a look at a tournament games from Black Hole Battles 2. It's a top 8 match between Zweistein and Professor De. I was recording this for historical reasons since Quasar's not able to stream it, and it's a top 8 match, so it seems pretty important. Anyway, it's going to be Zwei is playing Gaios combo. Very good deck in this format. A lot of people think it's in the top 3 for sure. Some people think it's the third best deck, which is still very strong. And Professor De, I believe, is playing Trollogram. We see him play it right there. Not super popular, and in my opinion, not super great. For reasons like this, it can be pretty easy to play around. Luckily for Professor De, he was able to draw Trollogram early enough that he's gonna get value out of it, but the deck can be pretty inconsistent at times, and the reward isn't all that great. Gas combo might be a little bit rough, but as long as Zweistein's able to get his 8 points in and then play his combo, I think this should be pretty doable for him. So use the Universe Boundary in his deck, set up the Galaxy Rock. That's already one piece of the combo in play. Good for him, good for him. And he swings for 2. Game's looking pretty even. Another issue with Trollogram is it's a permanent resource card, which means Professor Des is going to need to play another resource zone to use any other resources. Gauss combo doesn't play Guster or anything, so it's not a huge deal, but it's still a thing that's holding Trollogram back as a deck in this format. He plays the Spoons. He sees the other Trollogram. I assume he's going to kill it since he doesn't need it. I don't know what Zweistein's sideboard's like. He might be playing Crow Rock Comet or something that could counter Trollogram, but I'm not entirely sure. So he kills the Trollogram. I assume he'll add probably Chorb to hand. No, he adds Cosmic, okay. So he puts Chorb at bottom. I guess he had plenty of creatures. He can use the Cosmic to get advantage later on in the game. Another thing about Trollogram, since it's a permanent resource, it counts towards your Cosmic plays. So it can be kind of tough in that sense. Professor Des able to swing in with Begonk and the Starship. And Zweistein's got to pretty much immediately answer this or swing another 4 points, which can be pretty rough. I don't think he can answer it though, because he has... Does he have 10 stars to work with? He could have... It's kind of unlikely that he's able to answer this, because he'd have to buy another creature zone and another battle zone, unless he has Lupo or Vok in hand. Vok back in hand, he won't be able to play another creature. So unless he has some form of removal, like if he had First Sail Sign in hand, this could be pretty good for him, because he'd be able to swing in for like 3 points if he felt like it. Or no, 7 or 6 points if he felt like it. So let's see what Zvi's able to do here. Yeah. Professor Deck, I'm not gonna lie, he kind of opened really well. He got Trollogram, he basically opened Trollogram, and he was able to draw into Begonkin Starship really early, which can be... Trollogram can be tough to deal with in the early game. Lots of like cards have like double bodies like Gehenna, Adatrox, Facetime can all be really hard to deal with at the beginning. He has Thunderborg. Thunderborg's another option that will answer this. So he attacks in with Thunderborg and Vok. He's able to get rid of that Begonk. And he's able to establish a pretty good board for himself as well. So let's see what Professor De does to respond to this. I assume Professor De will just attack the Vok. So that's the more threatening presence on the board. He's finally able to Cosmic Treasure. Yeah, I guess if he had Starship and Begonk in hand, then grabbing Cosmic Treasure isn't such a bad idea since he's about to commit to a bigger play. I think an interesting thing about Trollogram is they run Sintian in this deck, which means that like your cards like Orbob are going to be protecting your Begonks. Your Chorbs will protect your Begonks too, which can make it like really hard to play through if your deck doesn't run a lot of like removal. So yeah, if your deck's like very battle focused, it can be pretty tough to play through. Like I think this is probably a pretty annoying deck for Sindel Tempo to run into, even if it's not super consistent. So it looks like he sets up the I wasn't even paying attention. He set up the Orbov by killing it. He had something in hand. I think he put AAA back to the bottom, maybe. I wasn't paying attention, not gonna lie. Paste Thornbork. I wonder if it'll do. He might just kill the other Thornbork. He could crash into Vok, but that gets rid of one of his Thornbork bodies. Ugh. Killing. Thornbork. I discard. Okay. So he kills Thornbork. Zwei's able to get 2 draws off that. Let's see what he does here. So that's the thing about Trollogram is all of your creatures basically become 2 creatures that Zwei's gonna have to play through. And most decks can't really play 2 creatures a turn. Zwei's, I think playing the spoons right there was pretty good. I think playing the spoons now instead of since you already have a creature on the board, be able to but because you don't want the spoons to interfere with your ability to attack through Des creatures. So just playing it now and getting it out of the way is probably good. I assume he either grabs. Ooh, this is actually. I don't know. I don't know what his hand's like, so I think any of these could be fine choices. I think Fractals would be fine. Cosmic would be fine. I probably wouldn't take spoons in this scenario, but it's not the worst thing in the world. So let's see what he does. Yeah, if he's looking for creatures, I think Fractal's fine. I think Fractal's a pretty interesting choice in Gaios combo. I think Secret, who's probably like our premier Gaios combo player, he has not run Fraxel. He builds his like list like super exclusively about fishing for the combo. I think Fractal's fine because Gaios can use him. That's like mostly small creatures, so I don't think it's like the most important thing in the world to have Fraxel since you don't need stars. But I think it's a good card. So he ditches Cosmic probably because Dez like pretty behind on card advantage. He puts Fraxel on bottom, which I think is probably a good choice. And then he grabs the spoons. Here, this is pretty interesting. I assume he sets up Noth. Yeah, Zvai's not getting the ideal spoon spot, but I assume he sets up Noth. Bernard to bottom, maybe? I don't know. If he has Bernard, definitely Bernard to bottom. But he might want it in his hand for other things. Turret, also pretty good in his hand. It will help him get to 8 points without having to attack through all of Des creatures, which could be quite bothersome for his deck. So let's see what he does here. Okay, so looks like he did basically the thing I said. He killed the Noth, set it up. I wasn't paying attention, but I think he probably pointer at Bernard to hand. Then he attacks Thornwork. So that Thornwork's down to 1. Checking my things. Okay, it's fine. Okay, yeah, people are playing music, so I was making sure I wasn't picking up. Anyway, Des turn. This could be a pretty tough situation for Vi since he wasn't able to get his early swings in. Sculpting seems pretty threatening. Let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7. Pretty even on card advantage right now. Zai definitely has the advantage in stars, but Professor Des board is way stronger for sure. If he has a board wipe like G Crash, that'd be really nice in the scenario, but I don't know if he does. Yeah, board wipes are also like so common and like really good in this matchup. Especially since it seems like Dad hasn't gotten very far through his deck and he doesn't have a lot of options in his hand, so stuff like Pointer and Beast aren't super likely in this scenario, so the Vi's probably pretty safe to like swing into the planet. That's like the important part of this like matchup when you're playing against Trollogram is making sure your deck has lots of options to remove creatures from the field without having to do it through battle. So stuff like For Sale Sign super helpful. I don't know if Vive plays it, but it's definitely a card that Gaios plays a lot. Gehenna super great in this matchup. When Sentinel Control is playing versus Trollogram. And then, of course, staples like Beast, G Crash. Those cards that just like wipe the board and let you swing face are super important in this matchup as well. So a lot of this is probably going to depend on how Zwei draws and if he's able to get his damage in. He plays the Knopf. He kills the Knopf. Probably searching Solomancer. Yep, he grabs the Solomancer, puts it in his hand. And since he killed Knopf to search a card, he's able to play his other Knopf. So yeah, now he has a Knopf set up and a Knopf on the field. Pretty strong play by him, I think. He's going to use combo tools, fits in his deck, all those good Gaios combo things. And he plays it for Sale Sign. That's such a good for Sale Sign play, I think. Because that's going to be able to net him a lot of damage if he's able to swing with that Pede. And Thornborg's the only body, so he's going to be able to... That's pretty good. The Orbov is potentially an issue since he's going to be able to play his Orbov, but I mean, Zwei's going to have to play that eventually anyway. Zwei has stuff like Phantom Matter, so that might come into play later on in the game, but for now I think it's fine. Oh, he has the Beast. That's unfortunate. At the very least, I think that's fine. Like, Dad won't be able to buy back Skelly, so I think that's pretty okay for his. Dad won't be able to buy back his Skelly, so he's going to have to pay for a new board. And he's not going to have a lot of stars to work with, so he's probably going to have to play something cheap or just like one Skelipede. We'll see. I play Skelligas. Yikes. That seems 4 stars. He's going to be able to swing for 3 again. And he's staying pretty safe. He's been doing like pretty conservative, like 1 creature at a time swings. Like this is a 4-body board that could be pretty rough for Zwei if he doesn't have a good answer, like good board wipe. We shall see. We shall see. Zwei says wait. He had 4 stars, so he should be at 0. Yeah. Zwei. In 4 paid for. Yeah, cleared the killed Sculpting. Yep. That's like a pretty tough situation. Trollogram can be really annoying if it gets started early because you get a lot of value out of it. Like the chances of opening Trollogram is like 30-ish%. It's not super high. Yeah, I think Sky's been playing this pretty well. I think some cards in his deck, like Fraxel, aren't gonna be like super helpful in this matchup. It'll be interesting to see what he has in sideboard. If he has Shield, that could be pretty good, because I think Shield Skelligas is OP. Once per game, it's only once. No, it's only once. So once per time it's on the field. Yeah, so like with only once effects like Skelligas, it's like if you kill it and revive it, then you could use its ability again. So it can be pretty bothersome with stuff like Bone Ladder. I don't know if Des playing stuff like that, but it's a possibility on the table. I think even if you were gonna run Trollogram, I wouldn't do it like Des doing it. Des kind of playing uh, a Sindian build that's like a little bit more gimmicky, focusing on like Bagonk being like really bothersome, which I think is a little bit more inconsistent. If I was gonna play Trollogram, which I probably wouldn't, I would probably build something more Sindel based around like Gas, Waku, Guinea, or probably not Waku because Waku's not. I mean Waku's good, it just doesn't have a Trollogram. But stuff like Gas, probably Sword too. Just getting like low value Sindel bodies and being able to revive them with stuff like Bone Ladder seems really bothersome. Okay, it looks like Zwei's gonna play Vok, and he's gonna attack Skelpede. Yeah, working through this board is really rough. So now Des can potentially have 2 attacks next turn. Zwei might be threatening the Beast of the Black Hole at this point. So maybe he's trying to get Dead to commit to that attack. And Dead does by the second battle zone, which makes sense. I don't think he needs to extend this much, but I think it's fine that he is. Kills, swings for 3. No response? Damn, no sauce. Okay. Dead's in a pretty favorable position right now. His board's still pretty threatening. Zwei has a decent amount of stars to work with, so stuff like for sale signs definitely still on the table. He has 1 root set up, which doesn't really matter in this matchup, I'm going to be honest. He plays the Bernard. Time Flash? Time Flash is Gas, so that means when Gas comes back, it's going to be able to play again. Before that question. Yeah. Is he going to hit the P? Yeah. Yeah, so that's an unfortunate thing is when you time flash something like Gas, it's able to use its only once ability stuff again. So that works to other creatures too. Like Boominator is able to use its ability again. Meltalon resets. So yeah, probably a misplay earlier. He should have attacked the Gas to get down to 1 body and then kill the Pede with Time Flash. That's how it be sometimes. Yeah, so a little bit of a misplay there. Just a little bit of like an inexperienced thing, not knowing these like minute rulings that come up occasionally, especially the weird stuff like Trollogram. Knowing these little, yeah, Trollo, very annoying deck if it gets going. I'm just gonna, can I throw a yes in the chat? Yeah, Trollo is definitely one of those decks where it's like you don't know how to play through it. Like you have to play through it a couple times to understand like the ins and outs of it. I think I've played against I played it mostly against versus with Sindel Control versus Trollogram. And once you like learn the matchup, it's like not that bad to play through. But it does take a little bit of knowledge. It's definitely a knowledge check deck. Like you don't know how to play against Trollogram, it can kind of annoying. But if once you got it down, then it's like playable. Taking's 4. And the other thing about Time Flash is it resets Sculpede's lives. So he's got to kill Sculpede twice again. Yeah. I think like I think this is looking pretty good for Dad in this first game, but it's totally possible that Zwei comes in the second game and is able to like take the little misplays that he made in the first game and totally win the second and third games, especially versus Trollogram. Like if Dad doesn't open Trollogram or doesn't draw it fast enough, it could be totally easy for Zwei to play through it because it's really just like a bunch of little small creatures. It's not like too threatening, and then once Trollogram hits the board, then it becomes really annoying. So yeah, that's basically all the deck is. It's like Trollogram makes all your creatures Atatrox, and you play a bunch of little good creatures like Skelpede, Skelligast, or Bov. So he kills the Skelligast, and Professor Death is going to gain 1 point off that Skelpede. Unless he forgets. If he forgets. That's on him. No sympathy for Trollo players. He plays Atom Warrior, another big creature with big stats. Can trade into like Pelfam, can swing for big damage, pretty threatening. And Dez getting close to that lethal. I don't think missing that one Skelpede point matters. Plays his throwing board. I think Zwei is just like going through the game at this point. Yeah, he'd need like, he's not like totally out of it yet because Gaios combo has some pretty insane burst damage options. Oh, see, he did something. That's the thing, like even now, like Orov's setup makes this like really impossible probably. Because even if he did like G Crash and the Gas combos, like not a lot of, he can like still bring out Orbov and make it like impossible to deal with. Okay, he's at least able to kill Atom Warrior. So that's nice. It does probably only be able to play 1 or 2 bodies. I don't know. He plays G Crash. That might just be GG's. I mean, Beast and Beast is still on the table. I think he put Turret on bottom of the deck, but I'm not sure. Yeah, Zwei concedes game 1. I think that's fair. Not giving the death satisfactory victory, just trying to cut his momentum, restart from a fresh slate, and play it out. Hopefully a little bit better this time. Now hopefully he's got the download. He knows how Trollogram works. He knows some of the gimmicks that Dez trying to play, so now he has a chance to decide and potentially play around some of that stuff. I think Shield might be a decent side here. I don't know if I have it inside, but it's able to, since it's able to kill like Skelpede and Skelligast through its effect, they just die. So maybe we'll see that come out potentially. I'll help him swing face more. I don't really know what else you would run. Space Pit's probably pretty good in this matchup. It's able to shuffle your Orbovs back in, the opponent's Orbovs back in, which makes it a little bit easier to play through. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what Zwei's side deck looks like. So this could be a really easy game 1 or a really hard game 1. So Zwei opts to go first. Probably wanting to like restrict Dez access to stars so that he can't set up the big board with all the creatures so fast. This will at least help Dez draw to his Trollogram faster, so it's not totally terrible for Dez. I wonder, did Dez go second the first game or first the game? I don't know. I can't read. That's fine. So it looks like they decided, they shuffled. Dez finished shuffling and deciding. I just gained 4 and pass. Pretty typical first turn play. There's not a lot you can do on the first turn, then you can't attack. Dez playing something. Pirate's Thornborg, yeah. Swings for 1, gain the point in. Hopefully get the draw. Thornborg's pretty good opener for Trollogram. I don't really care about Thornborg's extra body since he's like so small anyway, and you want the draw effect, so getting him down early is pretty ideal. So yeah, it looks like Dad did not open Trollogram, so this is going to be a really important part of the game for his Vi. So he's going to see if he can exploit like the inherent like weaknesses of the Trollogram deck and seeing if he can play through, get a good amount of damage early on in the game. Hopefully so he can play the combo later and not have to deal with a Trollogram that much. Okay, let's see. Looks like Dad probably still doesn't have the Trollogram, because I assume he'd be buying a resource on already. Pays for 4. Schwarb, okay. Yeah, Zwei is always happy to see these small creatures come down early on in the game because he's going to be able to trade his like Vox and Novs are always going to play into these Chorvs really well because those attack over, and then you're going to be winning in the star game pretty handily. Gaios in the early game definitely has a big advantage on this deck as long as they don't open Trollogram. First sale sign, that's a pretty big play. I would honestly, I might have. I think this is interesting because I think it's fine that he wants to get the damage in. He might be baiting that into buying this creature back. Because the thing on Gaios combo is, since they have such good burst damage, they're totally fine if you guys like trade back and forth, swinging 3 points face. Because you at 8 points probably still need like 4 or 5 more attacks to, like 3. I'm trying to think. Yeah, you probably still need like 4, 5 more attacks to win the game. But if Zwei gets 8 points, then he just needs one swing. He just needs one play, and he'll be able to win the game. So, so I think Zwei's pretty happy with this scenario. If they just swing back and forth, both get to 8 points and end the game. Because it's also going to be, if Dead's gaining 4 every turn and buying back this Chorb every turn, he's not going to be able to get the stars to build his zones out sideways, so there's not going to be a lot of opportunity for growth. I would assume Zwei just buys it back. Unless he has something better. But yeah, trying to play this for sale sign game against Gaios combo is generally pretty bad. I think it's another like inexperienced thing with these players who are good players, but just don't play quite as much, don't talk about the game quite as much. Yep, Zod just buys it back. Swings for 3. And now he's like 2 points away from that lethal range. One more swing and it's like looking pretty good for Zai. Okay, I'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, looks like Zvi, he went with the Nov play. That's interesting. If I were him, I probably would have bought back Chorb for one more turn just to make sure you're in that range. But maybe he's feeling like he's at a good enough position to start setting up his Gaia stuff, and going for his win condition. Although playing Noff, like, I guess it's fine. I guess it's fine. We'll see how this plays out. Maybe he has temple traps now, so he's like, okay, I can get the last point in pretty easily. He plays Time Flash. Okay. So De is starting to push for... Maybe he has an activator or something. No response. Okay. So Press De's a couple swings away. I guess like 4 3-point swings would end this up for him. I think Trollogram doesn't really... I think it only runs 3-point attackers. Okay, so he just kills the Rootaboot. Oh no, he has his own. Okay. Has his own, plays the Rootaboot. Yeah. Okay, so plays the Rootaboot in the right zone, so Knopf can come back to the left zone. And he's going to be able to knock out the Sculpting pretty easily, and then that's going to have quite the board to deal with next turn. Zwei doesn't mind either of his creatures being killed, because they both have great graveyard effects, not being able to free play itself, and Rootaboot boosting basically every card in the Gaios combo by a sizable amount. Are you guys... I don't know if you heard that blunder, but it happened. Okay. So yeah, Zwei looking pretty good, unless... It looks like Des still maybe not drawing into Trollogram. That's the issue, like if Trollogram's like your bottom 5, and that's like your win condition, you're not gonna be able to see it all game. There's no way to search it out. You have like a couple draw cards like Cosmic and Smooths, but it can be pretty rough. Okay, looks like he G-crashed it and attacked for 3. And the Beast comes out. AAA! Oh man. That's unfortunate. I think AA and Trollogram's kind of questionable, but it worked out here, so that's fine. AOA is always good for getting your big swings in, but I mean, Trollogram really only plays like 3-point swingers, so it's like not super heavy on investment. It's not like you're playing Guitar McGee or Meltdown or anything. And that point trap puts Zwei at 9. Now Zwei doesn't have to play through any Orbobs. He could potentially win the game like any turn now. If he has the cards. One Bernard solo play, and it's kind of over. He doesn't... Does he have G-Rock? I don't think he has G-Rock set up yet. Okay. So he's probably a little bit ways out from the combo. His deck's still pretty full. And there it comes, the Spirit of the Justice Shield. Justice Shield. I think it's pretty good in Trollo. I think it's fine to play this here. I would have maybe saved it for when the Trollogram hits the board, just in case he has something better. But if this is all he's got, then that's all he's got. Yeah. You played... Wait, 6 and... Yeah, we only do math. You should be at 3, right? He was at 6. He paid 3. He's at 6, he had 3. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. Seems legit. Doesn't really have any ways to extend his play. Probably just gonna swing. And Spirit of the Justice Shield, surprisingly bulky. So Skelegas and Skelepede are not gonna be able to get past this creature, obviously. And then, I mean, what else does he have? He has Chorb, Adam Warrior are probably gonna be the responses to this that he needs. Zwei's been pretty successful at keeping him at low stars throughout most of the game, with his good for sale sign plays early on, just making sure to kill a creature every turn. But Gaunt comes out for the 4-star swing. The 8 stars, is that GG's? Yeah, that sucks. That sucks so bad. So yeah, that's the set. That's kind of it. Yeah, so Professor Def is playing Trollogram. Kind of a rough deck. Top deck the Blaze. Jeez, top deck the Blaze. Yeah, that's super rough in that matchup. You gotta look out for those big burst swings, big bursty swings. So that can just like end the game. So it's unfortunate to see Zwei out of the tournament, out of the top 8. I said, did he finish at 7th? I believe he finished. Oh, check the challenge. Here, we can check the bracket. Jeez. Black hole battles. See, I think that is the beginning of top 8, so he's gonna finish at 7th, looks like, and then the real deal is gonna be playing Secret next. And Series playing Citadel Control, so it should be a pretty handy matchup. For Secret, I think it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So it'll be fun to see that next. Hopefully I'll be able to catch that one too. Hopefully I can catch Mastodon versus Jez, which I think will happen sometimes this weekend. And then we'll see Oddish, and then I think I play Fish on Quasar stream. So that's it for this video. Just want to record this for the Black Hole Battles archive. So maybe I'll upload this somewhere. See ya.